and it looks like we can only live stream Jamal one option. So in that case, let's go ahead, let's begin. So good morning again, world, on site, on location. Welcome this morning to a special edition of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. We began 30 minutes, a little bit later than usual, because of a number of things that's been happening within our country and to our race of people. And so we weren't boycotting world. Don't think we were boycotting 30 minutes of the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. But in a way, we just wanted to start a little later just to be in relation to what was going on with everything, with the unrest in our country. And so with that being said, introducing this morning again, the guru, although again, I am sure he will not label himself as the guru, Mr. Jamar Goodman.
What's going on?
And for those who do not know who I am, of course, you guys probably know and we are in the midst of racial tension within our nation. We are additionally in playoff territory for the NBA, NHL, and MLS. Good baseball is being played, and WNBA is entertaining, which gives us an additional reason to be excited. But that excitement sometimes is not worth the excitement because sometimes it's bigger than basketball and sometimes things are bigger than sports. You just walk around the world and you see people, or let's just say within the United States or within our communities, people like a little bit down, a little bit dreary, dragging, and they're dragging because they don't have sports. And it shows you just how deeply or how quick things could change and how the impact of not having sports on our television screens can change just a whole bunch of things. And so we got a genuine conversation to have this morning with the political unrest that is affecting our nations, our cities, and most importantly, our people. And so with that being said, Jamal, I'll head on after you. Just give me your thoughts, man, on what's going on in our country right now.
Man, like tension is like through the roof right now. This past week, everybody has definitely been emotional to say the least of things that's been happening, particularly in Kenosha, Wisconsin, with Jacob Blake and that situation and how that turned out. Fortunately, he's alive in a stable condition, but that whole situation personally for me rubbed me the wrong way of how, like, the end result of it. I'm not sure personally. I don't know all the full details, or I'm pretty sure I've heard them, but forgot right now. But I just know the end result of 7 shots in the back to an individual. Like, there's nothing you can say to me that would justify that ever. Right. Especially from law enforcement. Like, he was definitely outnumbered by law enforcement going to his truck with his kids in the car. Like I don't know particularly what happened until that point, but I just know, like, it's a number of ways to come to a different conclusion instead of what we seen from the video footage. And then the aftermath of that with the protesting and quote unquote rioting and that whole situation with the 17-year-old kid. And man,
privilege. I mean, wow. I mean, wow, man. Jamal, let me take the mic from you for a minute, bro. I'm gonna be a minute. I'm gonna be a while.
Do your thing.
So, like, just starting with the 17-year-old, let's compare him right now to Jacob Blake. Okay, black man, white man. He's the darling of America. He's the enemy of America. He is viewed as a sexual assault person, or let's say you got idiots, man, that's be on the internet. They try to come up with so many excuses to justify their levels of hatred, their levels of animosity, their levels of what we consider really as racism. You take this kid and you try to say, okay, he's an NRA member, he's a kid, he's 17, or he's blah, 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 he's going through stuff. You know how a white kid go shoot up a damn movie theater, or they love guns, by the way, white kids. And I'm gonna be a little racist this morning, so if you don't want to if you guys don't want to watch the early morning sports talk podcast, don't do so. This white kid, he literally, go shoot up a movie theater. He go shoot up a church. He go shoot up a daycare with goddamn babies. Okay, and oh yeah, this kid, he has mental issues. Oh, his father wasn't home. Oh, he's been bullied at school. And they stepped on his shoe, or they knocked his ice cream out of his hand. And he's angry at the world for that. He's just a kid, But meanwhile, literally, bro, you see on the internet, you see messages after messages after messages of sick white Americans, sick Latino Americans. I'm calling you out. Sick Black Americans that's literally justifying this shooting of Jacob Blake. I don't give a damn if Jacob Blake broke in your house and raped your wife. At the end of the day, he shouldn't have been shot 7 times. This was a very simple arrest, America. Very simple arrest. This guy should have never made it to the car in the first place. Right, Jamar? Correct. You had plenty of options to arrest him prior to getting in the car. Now you sit there and say, yeah, the police tried to comply with him. They tried to talk to him. Okay, yes, they tried to talk to him. But they just get to a certain point to where you just simply begin to wrestle with this guy. You do something to try to get him to the ground. If he act a fool, you tase him. Simple. If he gets in the car and he opens the door and he's being an idiot in you guys' eyes, which, yes, I don't agree with him opening that door. I don't know why Jacob did that. I don't know why. But at that point, all you had to do, tase him. I would have tased the dog crap out of the brother. And then I would have dragged him, threw him on the ground. We would have arrested him. Boom. Simple as that. But no. They just like the thugs on the streets. Up that thing. Bang, 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 bang. 7 times. Quick result. Nothing to talk about. It's like now, man, the police, they don't want to work hard. They don't want to fight you. They don't want to wrestle with you. I guess maybe it hurts their knees. I don't know, bro. Maybe after they wrestle with somebody, their knees get hurt. A lot of these guys are old and a lot of them are just really bad biases. It hurts their knees, I guess, Jamar. I guess, I was wrestling with my brother not too long ago. I guess I felt it in my knees a little bit. So I guess maybe a police officer might feel it too if they got to arrest somebody. They don't want to feel that. That hurts. So I guess the quickest result, the quickest option is to up that thing 7 times. Quickest result, boom, in front of everybody. Now I can tell you really from my mindset what was going through that guy's mind. What was going through that guy's mind is everybody around, right, Jamar? You know how our community do. We want to make sure we get that on camera, just so the world can see what these guys execute in their bubbles and how they think they're right, of course, right? America, white America, they always think they're right. They're never wrong. They're never wrong, ever. And if they are wrong, they try to find excuses and try to change the narrative, always. So this guy, Kyle Rittenhouse, let's get on him for a second. He literally, yes, he was antagonized by people. People antagonizing him because he's obviously walking through the streets with a chopper. AR-45 chopper, very life-threatening gun. Oftentimes you hit with it in the right place, there's no surviving that. Not at all. And so he's walking through the streets. Look, people are antagonizing him. I don't think he maybe shot or killed any African Americans in this case. These are all these are Caucasian Americans that were fighting for what's right. And possibly some might argue, yeah, they shouldn't have antagonized him or ran up on him and different things. but it was just the fact for me that he was able to walk through the streets with that chopper. If I was a member of the NRA, and I walked through the streets and I shot that gun once, I just, it's no way in hell, Jamal, I feel like I would have survived. I would have got hit with choppers. I don't think it's no way at all. No, 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 no. Now, Jacob Blake, yeah, you know, the police, they say they knew about his history and all these different things prior to him. These idiots, Jamar, on the internet, they talk about his kids. They talk about how he got 6 kids. I guess somehow this makes him a lowlife in their eyes. I guess somehow this makes them or makes him a bad person just because he got 6 kids. He lays around all day, I guess, and you know, they even talk about how he's trying to have domestic violence against this woman and have his 7th child. I'm just saying, like, all these different narratives that white America and idiots that follow white America, you idiot followers, are literally trying to create excuse after excuse after excuse. What's the excuse for Kyle Rittenhouse other than white privilege? I have never in my life seen a man, I've never seen, especially a black man, but I've never seen a man with a chopper walk right past the police. And they literally get out 1 minute, get down on the ground. And then the police get back in the car, bro, and drive away. And then you got big militant machines, tanks, that they stop like they want to do something, then they just ride on by because the other officer got in the car. I still to this moment want to get an excuse or get a reason, but I mainly want to get an excuse in this case because, of course, it's an excuse, Yamar. I want to get an excuse on why they let Kyle Rittenhouse go to his house, which is about 15 minutes from me, bro. Kenosha is only about 40 minutes from here. Literally get in his car and go right back home. I just firmly believe that if I was a black male and I did that, even if I was a member of the NRA, even if I was a God-fearing American protecting, the businesses and different things. And yes, we're not idiots, America. We understand that stance. We understand that. We truly do. But what we don't understand is how he gets away with it. How he literally is not even approached. Not even just put in a car. That gun is a threat. That's a real threat, guys. But you telling me a black man without a weapon, this is what you're telling us in your actions. You're telling us that this black man without a weapon is a bigger threat than Kyle Rittenhouse with an assault rifle 45. That he done let off rounds and shot 4 people and still walked away. That's a bigger threat, right? If you believe that you are sick, you are sick. It ain't no way to justify you are sick mentally in your brain and in your heart. And you need a checkup for real. If you think there's any reason why this black man without a weapon, without anything that could potentially harm these officers is a bigger threat than Kyle Rittenhouse with an assault rifle that's letting rounds off against plenty of people. Shot 4 people, killed 2. But somehow, some way, he's a bigger threat. Somehow, some way, he deserved to be shot and paralyzed more than Kyle Rittenhouse, who walked away without any issue. If you believe that, you are sick. You are tremendously sick. And you need, like, serious help. And so, this is the America we live in. I do my best every day, Jamar, in this country. I be as excellent as possible because I like rubbing it in white America face that yes, I am a black male. I am everything you do not want me to be. But I'm going to continue to be everything you don't want me to be. And I'm going to grow and develop and be more excellent because you are my motivation. Thank you. You give me a lion, a dog, a man of God motivation. You motivate me so hard, to be excellent and rub it right in your face. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? I know how to approach the police, but I don't respect them. No, I don't. I don't respect the police because I don't have much of a reason to respect them. Now, with certain police officers, I do respect. And sadly and unfortunately, most of those officers are part of the communities that I'm in. Why? Because those people understand me. They understand the struggle. They understand what's going on. They try and they do their best to try and understand. They don't just automatically go off of something that they've seen their whole lives in their bubbles and then just say, hey, you're automatically wrong because you don't believe what I believe. They try to understand. I'm a man to where I try to understand the other side, but I promise you there's not much rationalization behind it. I see privilege. I see hate. I see stuff that's been going on since the beginning of time, and people just don't want to change. But I tell you what, on this podcast, we ain't having it. You ain't got to watch it. You ain't got to like it. You ain't got to comment. You can keep scrolling. You can unfriend us both. Period. 100. We're going to keep moving. And if you unfriend us, that might motivate us to go even harder. Okay? So I tell you what, there is no way in hell that you can tell me that that brother, Jacob Blake, without a weapon, getting in his car, couldn't have been easily arrested. There's no way to tell me that his background should have resulted in him being shot 7 times. No way. There's no way, yes, of him being angry at his girlfriend and possibly having some domestic violence, that he should have still been shot in the back 7 times. There's no way. There's no way that even if he got in his car, which he shouldn't have made it to his car, that he had to have been shot 7 times. He should have been tased. Or he should have been at least grabbed or something. Any police officer with common sense know that. You can't sell me that. Don't sell me that. No. I'm not buying that BS. There's no way you can sell me that. You can sell that to a dummy, but I ain't a dummy. So you can sell that to a dummy. And there's no way Kyle Rittenhouse, with an AK AR-45 chopper, should have walked past the police and not got approached, went home to his big, beautiful mansion in Crystal Lake, Illinois, and went to his auntie's house in Antioch, Illinois, after he knew the cops was after him, and still got away scot-free, wasn't touched, wasn't harmed, wasn't even questioned. There's no way you can tell me that. All right, Jamar. Go ahead, my brother. I had to get my piece out.
I mean, I feel like you hit the nail on the head. I mean, personally, I'm exhausted, just mentally exhausted. And like I tell coworkers, like, look, I have to work twice as hard to get to where you are.
Come on.
I have to.
Tell that truth.
It's like I have to bat 100%, like 1,000% to, make sure I'm here the next day. Like, it's just unbelievable that, how blatant things and situations are now because of the technology that's, out there to give an outlet to, expose all of this. And it's like, nobody gets it. Like,
they get it. They just think they prideful. Any person with common sense get it. They get it.
Probably.
They don't want to let go of their proud stance. And sometimes pride will kill people.
Oh yeah.
Yep. They feel like they died going to hell with it. And that's what they want to do.
Yeah. And this past week, I when something is in my heart, I let it out. And this week it was more so on Facebook, social media. Like I posted definitely a few statuses just explaining like my hurt, how I feel about the things that's going on. And truth behold, people showed their true colors,
Mm-hmm.
and I was, perfectly fine with that because that was the point of me posting that, because it's like I just want to know where people stand at this point.
Right.
It's I don't man, dude. And I think I think what really nailed the hit the nail on the head on this one, and this might be a perfect segue to the next segment here, was when people were getting mad at the NBA players for not playing.
Come on.
I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, they like in order for them to play in this bubble right now, part of it was an agreement of displaying how they feel about the situations with black people. Hence why they got on the court Black Lives Matter on every court that you see. Hence why they got the names, these certain names on the back of their jerseys that they choose to try to, give awareness and change the stigma that's in America right now. So to sit up here and tell me that I scroll on my Facebook page to see people are upset and tell them that don't do this at your work, like don't not protest at your work, like do your job and play bad, like stuff like that. I think that really set it off for me, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
really passionate about sports, and there's a lot of things that are bigger than basketball, bigger than sports in general, and the fact that people are more worried about the quote unquote facts of the case. I feel like the quote unquote facts of an individual is more important than, I guess, dehumanizing an individual. Like you cannot, once again, you cannot sit up and tell me that 7 shots to the back to a person is justifiable in any means, especially in that particular situation. No, I'm done.
And it strongly depends on the situation. And that situation is not justifiable. It's not. So white America and idiots that follow white America keep trying to find ways to justify it. It's no way you can justify. Stop it. You're making yourself look like a fool. Stop it. You keep trying and trying, and guess what? You're looking dumber and dumber. Just like the movie. Love that movie, by the way. Love Dumb and Dumber by Jim Carrey. I love that movie.
Agreed.
Classic, bro. That's a
I love
classic,
it.
man. But that's how you guys are looking. You're looking retarded. You're looking pretty dumb right now. And so you're right, Jamar. There's no way, man, for you to tell me in regards to the NBA athletes, which now leads into our next segment, that it's a justifiable reason for them to go ahead and continue playing. Yes, I understand, what happened with the facts and different things, blah, 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 or people stating that, yeah, you're making a stronger stance by playing. No, you're not. Bill, you were on this podcast and we talked at the gym yesterday morning. But brother, I had to check you on the spot. And I'm going to let people know just what we talked about right here on the podcast. You mentioned that you feel that the athlete should continue playing because it makes a stronger stance. For listeners, for viewers, if you agree with him, go ahead. That's fine. That's fine. But for me, as a black male, I understand what those black males are going through. You're not a black male, Bill. Truthfully, Bill, you're from the north suburbs, bro. You couldn't even fathom, okay? You've never been pulled over and shot at. You've never been viewed in certain ways. You've never been working out in the gym. White girls, they try to avoid you on purpose just because they're afraid of you. Like I'm literally going to attack you and your precious sauerkraut smelling body on purpose. Like I really got time for that. You must think you're that important, huh? Really? I'm letting loose on folks this morning. I don't give a damn if you don't like it. You and your sauerkraut smelling breath. You think I'm really gonna attack you? I'm really gonna bother you? You think you're that important? When I'm happily married to a beautiful princess, beautiful queen, two beautiful princesses. Like I really got time for that. Like I really got time to jump in the narrative that you think about me and that you've been raised upon thinking that most of us are like. Because you live in a bubble. That's your fault you want to live in a bubble. You want results, get out of that bubble. You want results, hit the streets. Go to those communities. Find out what it's like. Then you got a reason to talk. To then shut your damn mouth. So at the end of the day, you make your stance, right, Bill? And you state this and you state that. Okay. Understood. But you've never walked in those athletes' shoes. So how can you comment? Most of white America, they're just pissed off, Jamar, because they don't have nothing to look at now. I mean, they do today now, but they were just pissed off they don't have the entertainment that they're used to. They're just pissed off they don't have the African Americans as being their entertainment dummies that they've been used to for so long. And they hate to see an African American woke. They hate it. Oh, man. For various reasons they hate it, because it's challenging the democracy that they've built, the democracy that they've written, the democracy that they've lived off for so long and benefited from. Who in their right mind would, most people wouldn't like that. We understand on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, you guys don't like that. But I also got news, y'all. God don't like that. God don't like that. God don't like liars. God don't like people that sit here and try to hide from the truth. God don't like people that are prideful. God don't like that. And so you try to justify all these excuses to try to come up with a certain point. NBA players, Naeem Osaka, MLS, NHL, I am proud of y'all. And some people say, Jamar, well, what's 2 days going to do? You might as well just sit out for the whole season. I can see that point. I can see that. Okay, I can see y'all point that, yeah, you know, you can just go ahead and sit out and just end it for the whole thing, because if you do it, then it's like you're kind of reneging on a card game of spades, or it's like you're kind of, you know, getting into something that you should have just not got into, and it's not being honest to, you know, what your original stance was. But the athletes, their biggest motivation, guys, they want to play basketball and they want to go back and get that ring. That's the biggest reason why they're doing it. I can tell y'all, that's the biggest reason why they're doing it. But if they really wanted to make a stance in regards to everything, they're not playing basketball to make a stance. They're not really doing that, guys. They're not. They're doing that out of passion for the game, out of love for their fans. And even, you know, up to this point, the love for the fans, they understand, the fans, the true fans understand, and not the idiots, not the dummies, not the people that look at athletes as sports dummies because most of them are black. Those are the ones that's pissed off because they're used to us entertaining them. It's just like being in a puppet show, or it's just like being at a circus, and all the entertainment is African American, and all the owners, they got their hats on. They're all sitting there congregating. Yeah, look at the black dummy Brandon. Look at him running around in a circle. Yeah, that's what I expect of him. That's what I expect of him. But he doesn't do that. Oh no, oh no, oh no. This nigga's getting out of control here. We gotta find a way to control this nigga. We gotta find a way to limit this guy, because he's being very disrespectful here. And so, as a result, there's anger, there's hostility, there's a number of things. Okay, we get that. But once again, I ask everyone that believes that the athletes should never boycott it, do you truly understand where they are coming from? Have you been in their shoes? And if you don't want to understand that, then the hell with you. That's just your issue. Doesn't mean we don't have to be friends. Doesn't mean we don't have to say hi. Doesn't mean that we can have same political views. That's fine. That's what make America, baby. That's fine. But at the same time, when it comes to this conversation, I'm sticking with my stance, and that's it. And I'm a Leo. I got pride too. I really do. And Jamar's a Leo as well. What we say, pretty much we mean it, and that's it. And you can stick with yours, but just know I'm sticking with mine. So you can save all the other stuff, period. I've opened myself to other stances, other points, and there's no justification behind it. There's no justification behind it. So I'm very proud of the NBA athletes for taking their stance. And I tell you what, if white America want to continue to act up, this next boycott, if it happens again, you guys can forget it. It's a wrap. If there's another boycott, it's a wrap for all the season, all that stuff. And for the idiots that get online, Jamar, and they sit there and want to talk about salaries, it's not about money, dummies. And additionally, for these NBA athletes, they make more money than you and your stanky sauerkraut smelling breath any day. Okay? They make a lot more money than you. So if they literally walk away from the game, it ain't hurting their pockets, but it's pissing you off, I'm sure. It's pissing you off, buddy. Mr. Philip Fuentes, Mr. Latino, buddy. It's pissing you off, I'm sure, because now you can't watch your MLS or you can't watch your NBA. You can't post your pictures of Luka Doncic saying that he's going to win the championship just because he scored a basket on Reggie Jackson. If Kawhi Leonard would have scored, me and Jamar know that series would be over by now. Kawhi Leonard, there ain't no way in hell Luka Doncic would even got that shot off probably. And I got news for you, Mr. Philip Fuentes. You notice how the Clippers clapped back Game 5. I've been in sports for quite some time. Game 6, you can try to wish your buddy Luka Doncic luck all you want. Clippers going to rout him, just like they did Game 5. Greatness proves itself in the moments of adversity. And unfortunately, true, most of the best athletes in the world are black. Whites, they're great. They try to work hard with energy. They work hard. They move. They hustle. They do all the small things. They just don't have the skill, a lot of them. Luka Doncic is great. He's a great ball player. And that kid got a bright future. And he might get a championship one day. But I tell you what, Mr. Philip Fuentes, in the next 10 years, he got to deal with Giannis. He got to deal with a Kawhi. He got to deal with Donovan Mitchell. He got to deal with Jamal Murray. He got to deal with Zion Williamson. He got to deal with Ja Morant. He got to deal with a lot of people. It ain't just about him. So I understand you want to be all excited because he's a white male and that you finally want a white male on top of this thing of basketball. But just know this. He got a lot of competition. Okay? A whole lot of competition. And so before you go crowning him as the greatest this or greatest that, just know and understand he got a lot of competition, okay? And generally it's about matchups. And so, Mr. Philip Fuentes, I'm pretty sure now you feel really silly, especially after I commented on Facebook and hurt your feelings. I predicted to you that the Clippers were going to rout them in Game 5, and that's exactly what they did. The game was over before the half. Before the end of the first half, the game was over. It'll likely be the same this time. Sometimes you guys need humble pie, and you'll get humble pie. You'll get humble pie. And even if Luka Doncic was to get past the Clippers, I don't even think they'll get past the Jazz. Not without Kristaps Porzingis, because Rudy Gobert would dominate them he'll dominate them out. He'll dominate them down low. Dominate them. Absolutely annihilate them. Then if they was to get past the Jazz, I don't think it ain't no way in hell they getting past LeBron. And then they would have to get past the Bucks, or they'll have to get past my Celtics. And good luck with that. So before you go crowning people just because they're white and you want to see white America dominate everything, get to the facts, buddy. Be realistic and stop being an ass, you donkey. All right. So with that being said, Jamar, you have any more thoughts, man, before we move on to sports?
I guess, if it pertains to just going back to the NBA players, and it's like I feel like people or America in general feel like, oh, these athletes, they get paid millions of dollars. There's no such thing as racism to them.
What
Like,
dumb? Oh,
because it feels like if you have a lot of money, situations just go away. That's what I really feel
you
like. That
still getting profiled just like everybody else.
man, didn't I
But
heard
they don't
of,
understand that, Jamar. They don't understand that because they never been in those shoes.
and there's been plenty of professional athletes, black professional athletes that has been in situations, including police situations. Remember Sterling Brown a couple of
Mm-hmm.
years ago? Well, waiting outside his car, I think he was having car issues. Came up to him in a Walgreens, just harassing him, threw him in jail. Who was it? I think Doc Rivers been pulled over so many times he can't count. Had his house burnt down too before.
Oh, Sam Mitchell. Yeah, man. Just recently, he was saying on NBA TV how him and his wife were pulled over, about a couple weeks ago, and the officer was just extremely rude, aggressive, like ready to be on something, ready to be on something, ready for the wrong move, ready to let that thing go. Because obviously, there's a lot of biases, and so he was just letting us know on NBA TV like how threatened he felt for his life.
Which is insane. Which is insane. And funny thing is, when some of these situations,
Look,
cops,
Jamar, excuse me, brother. He was gonna shoot Sam Mitchell because he wasn't no longer a head coach and he didn't lead his Toronto Raptors to an NBA championship at that time.
oh man, it's crazy because like some of those, from what I read, some of the situations definitely did a complete 180 once the cop realized who that individual was,
Mm-hmm.
just because of their stature, their celebrity platform. It's like like right there, that's it in a nutshell. It should not, we should not have to be a star status to get treated different.
Right. And
It
that's
shouldn't
that
be.
thing, bro. Oh my God, Jamar, you just hit on something, bro. You just hit on something. They the stars get treated a little better than an average show, right? They do just because they
Right.
have recognizable faces. But it shouldn't have to be like that, idiots. It shouldn't have to be to where a person that's a superstar has to get star treatment and when he get pulled over, you want an autograph, but yet you pull over a Brandon Price, a guy that's not recognized on television, and if I make a wrong move in my glove department, get shot 8 times in the chest. And I just really strongly feel that white America, they got a big animosity, man. They just do, and they take it out. That's it. That's simply it. They think we're lazy. They think we just want to make babies. They think we're incompetent. They just think so many things, and it
They
just
do.
shows in their actions.
They do.
That's it.
And like the protests, like I feel like if the NBA and these other sports players did not do it, especially the NBA, since part of their reason for coming back, they didn't do it, then we'd be looking at them sideways, like, what was the point of you coming back and playing with all this action, with all these stipulations and no action for it? So yeah, I agree. If there is another boycott, it's definitely a wrap.
Yeah,
It is. That one right there was just to put the world on notice, like,
yeah. That's
hey,
all it was. Just putting the word on notice.
like we're for real about this. Like something has to give.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's my piece on that, man. I'm pretty sure more people will show their true colors as days go by, and that's all right.
Right. Show your true colors. And guess what? When you guys show your true colors, we will show our true colors too. And that'll just be the way it is. You show your true colors, I'm gonna show mine too. Simple as that. You ain't gotta like my true colors, just like I ain't gotta like yours. That's what makes America great, right? And so with that, I want your comments, bro, on number 45. In his comments stating that the NBA athletes protesting are absurd and silly. That was his comments, that the NBA protests and the sports protests are absurd and silly. And so not once has Donald Trump mentioned Jacob Blake. Not once has he mentioned anything in regards to the sports world. Which are why, I mean, Jesus Christ, I feel so bad for him. He's going to get crushed. White America's going to vote for him. They are. They're going to show up, guys, but we got to show up too. That's what this platform is for, the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Guys, if you are watching, ladies, if you are watching, do your best to drag other people to voting places. The NBA, NFL, whoever, open your big, huge stadiums up. Right, Jamar? Open your stadiums up and have them as polling places. It'll make it so much easier for people.
Facts. And that's why I applaud
They'll love to
LeBron
go
for it.
down. Right. They'll love to go down to the United Center and get some votes in. They'll love to go down to the Wintrust Arena and get their votes in. They'll love that. They'll love to go to Chicago State University with that big old Jones Convocation Center, and they'll love to cast their votes. They'll love to go to UIC down right next to the United Center and cast their votes at the UIC Pavilion. Or they'll love to go to Soldier Field, US Cellular Field, Wrigley Field, you name it. They'll love to go to those places and poll their votes. And you guys have the platform. So, Lightfoot, if you're listening, which I'm sure you're not, but if you got a friend that's listening, do your best to open up these polling places. And we ain't just speaking to you to try to get popularity. We just speaking the truth, baby. Do your best to open up whatever platforms you can open up to have a huge venue. And plus, the bigger the venue, the better the social distancing. The bigger the venue, the better the social distancing, and the more people that will be incentivized and motivated to come out. So just a thought, but other cities are doing it. The Houston Rockets have done it at the Toyota Center. They're going to use their place as a polling center. Maybe other teams should follow suit. If we want to make change, we got to do our part. We got to use the resources that we have. I'm literally dragging people with me to the polling booth, bro. I'm dragging people, like dragging them. I drive you. I be your escort, whatever. Now I got to vote in my town, but when it comes to my siblings and my family, I drag them. I'll be your Uber, baby. Let's go.
And do what you got to do, bro.
Y'all want to go out, get a drink afterwards, whatever to motivate you to get out and vote. Whatever you need. You want to work out? You want to go get some ice cream? Whatever you want to do, we can ride out. We go vote. And after we vote, then we can do whatever you want to do. But as long as you cast that vote, because white America going to come out. They're going to show up. They believe in patriotism. They believe in their democracy. They believe in a God-fearing America. But guess what? We got to believe in a God-fearing America too. And we can't be around here making excuses, crying and complaining. We got to get up. On that morning, if prior to voting or prior to that election on November 3rd, early voting highly suggested. For people in Chicago, you can vote downtown early voting. You can cast your mail-in ballot. Skip Donald Trump. He don't like it because he knows that's another method for him to lose. So he's all into it with the mail system and the mail people and having them, testifying this and that because he doesn't like that. It's amazing. Literally, he's got the head of the U.S. Mail and Postal Service all in Congress trying to find fraud against him and different things in the U.S. postal system.
Ridiculous.
I don't remember the exact story, but I know it's something in that ballpark. I don't know the exact
Just
fact.
ridiculous, man.
Right. And so I'm saying, America, Democrats, yes, I'm a Democrat. You don't like it, you can get off the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. Get out. Make your voice be heard. That's just one step. This is one step. And in order to make things a little better in this country, guys, we got to get the right representation from our communities, starting with our aldermen, on to our governors, on to our mayors, prior to the mayor, prior to the governor, our mayors after our aldermen, our congressmen, our senates, our House of Reps, on to our governors, and then on to the president. We gotta create that change. We gotta create that change so that we can have the representation, y'all, not for the popular vote. Me and Jamar know that Biden's gonna win the popular vote. We're concerned about the electoral college. That's our concern. Because if the right representation is not in the electoral college, all that stuff that happened 3 to 4 years with all that voting that led up to 2020, if we ain't get out, guess what? Donald still got representation in the electoral college. And that's where he possibly could win. This all plays a role, guys. All that, all those votes.
Strategy.
Right. And so if we're not doing every piece to get up to that point, then he's going to have the representation. So get out, guys. Make your voice be heard. And yeah, Jamar, I'm pretty sure I know what you think about Donald Trump's comments of the NBA protests being absurd and stuff.
I mean, I was just going to ask you one question and one question only. Like, are you surprised? Are you really surprised?
No.
I mean, I can say one thing about Donald Trump this whole time. He's been as real as it gets. He's been consistent of who he is. So, I mean, any situation that's about, dealing with Black folks and Black Lives Matter and equality and level playing field.
He's not for it.
He's not. So it's like, are you really surprised? Like, I mean, he glorified the people from Charlottesville, Virginia that one time. That whole debacle. But no, I mean, it is what it is. Whatever he says to me personally just goes in one ear out the other. I ignore the guy and just continue to do what I'm doing.
Same here, man. So shout out to number 45 for being a dummy. Your time is coming up, buddy. And so, you've helped us out financially a little bit with the economy, but other than that, you have received a failing grade as a president. It's been unbelievably bad. I mean, Jesus Christ, Lord, help us, please, help us. Lord, help us, please. This has been an unbelievable leader that is, divisive. Divisive ain't even a word. Divisive ain't even a word. If you are an athlete, you should not be voting for Donald Trump. He's not for you. Why should you be for him? Why? An athlete of today. And shout out to Brian Urlacher, by the way. I will never, ever, ever talk about you ever again, you bomb scrub. My last memory of you is you getting juked by Frank Gore. You bum. My last memory of you was trying to get a 2-year extension with the Bears, and they like, bro, you washed up. My last memory of you is when I see these hair things, these hair advertisements, and how screwed up your hair looks. You look terrible with that hairdo, bro. You look terrible. You need to just go ahead and go back bald again. I know you want to look like the rich white man and have that white privilege, but you look terrible with that gold thing over your head. It looks like a snake, a big old rattlesnake on top of your head. It looks really bad, Brian Urlacher. And so shout out to you for those very comments, those very great comments. Once again, you are a very firm stander and believe what you believe. And guess what? On the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast, we stand firm too. We believe what we believe. Period.
What a joke.
What an absolute joke. And you've had a great career, man. You've given us great memories and different things. But guess what? Not anymore. My brother, my family, we've always thought that Lance Briggs was a better linebacker than you anyway. And don't think that you just are all cemented. You got white privilege for getting in the Hall of Fame very quickly. Most linebackers don't get in that fast, but white privilege led you to get in quickly. It was like, damn, that's quick. And so, yeah, you had a great career in different things, but shout out to you. I hope that you are open to listen, but knowing you probably not open to listen. You think you're right. You don't care who you offend, and guess what? We don't care who we offend.
I mean, at this point, I mean, if you don't have a different view about certain things, about what's right and what's wrong, then I mean, you are who you are.
Period. And so, yeah, shout out to Brian Urlacher. Enjoy your retirement, man. That's the one thing we can say. And so, with that being said, um, let's go ahead, brother. Let's talk about some sports. So, let's get into it. So, all
All right.
right, we with the resumption of sports, we got a few series, Jamar, that is pretty much on the cusp of being ended this weekend. And so, can you tell me um, which NBA teams you think are going fishing? So you know what I mean by going fishing. That
Absolutely.
TNT. Which teams are going fishing this weekend? And we're talking the NBA playoffs.
All right. So I'm gonna just bring up the list of NBA games really quick, so the people that's not aware of the matchups here, really
Thank you.
quick. All right. So what we got? First game, Bucks and Magic. Yeah, Magic's definitely going fishing today. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. Um, yeah,
the
they
Magic,
got
like,
it.
the
Matter
Magic was happy, boy. They got an extension on their season. They was happy.
Matter of fact, and they don't even have to go far to go fishing. They just got to go around the corner somewhere.
Exactly, man. They got everything that's right there for them, right?
Oh yeah. Now, next game I think is the Rockets Thunder. Now this series became interesting,
I
uh,
told you it was gonna go 7, bro. I told you.
but I did hear that Westbrook will probably be available for Game 5, so that might just add an extra element. I still like the Rockets 6 or 7 in this one, but I mean I'll never count out the dog in CP3 and what he brought to that team thus far. So, but I got the Thunder going fishing eventually. Lakers, Blazers, goodbye. So long, farewell. Blazers are done.
I don't think Dame is playing Game 5 either.
Oh no, he left the bubble. He's done.
Oh, he left. Wow. Oh, he
Yeah,
left the bubble.
yeah.
Okay.
To get another, I think, a pain on his knee. I think he's gonna be down for a couple of months here.
Okay. Yeah. If he out, then CJ
Yes.
McCollum, you're gonna have to go crazy, bro. You're gonna have to go crazy.
Yep. Go crazy like he did, and think Game 7 last year against the Nuggets in the
You're gonna
Western
need that
Conference
effort.
semifinals.
You're
Yeah,
gonna need that 3 straight games. Good luck.
it's not happening. Yeah. Then tomorrow, Dallas is going fishing. Um, Jazz Nuggets. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that one just yet.
I told you that series is going 7-2, and that
Yeah,
with that, the Jazz will pull it out in 7.
maybe so, because outside of Luka, Donovan Mitchell has been basically the best player in the bubble in these playoffs thus far.
Absolutely.
And
Been
man,
going off.
I love
Been
his
going
game.
off.
He
Hmm.
gives me shades of like a young Dwayne Wade in a sense, but his game's a little bit more polished at his age right now, in my opinion.
It is. It is. Facts. Facts. Yes, sir.
So
Hmm.
so yeah, so basically who you got? Well, you already picked the Jazz, and well, I think you got the Thunder, and everything else is I want to say on the same page.
Right. So yeah, I got the Thunder pulling off an upset. As I told you, I think with Russell Westbrook coming back, but I said this weeks ago, he's destructive to teams. I feel like, and I feel like at times he's overly aggressive, and those overly aggressive shots often leads to fast breaks for other teams, like the Thunder that will take advantage of those fast breaks with CP3 and find ways to make easy buckets or transition threes. And so he'll get his points, don't get me wrong, but it's just often at times he makes very ill-advised decisions. So, yeah, sometimes I think Russell Westbrook is self-destructive in a way, and sometimes he just needs to make the extra pass, not the extra shot. Okay, so additionally, I think the Blazers are going fishing. They'll have a nice summer. They were a tremendously scary threat, but the Lakers defense and AD has just been imposing. And LeBron reminds us of how great he is. He really, he must have been just telling people, have y'all forgot? Like, wasn't that long ago. And so, yeah. And so, yeah, I think the Blazers are going fishing. I think definitely the Magic, they were happy, man. They were happy to have an extended season. They feel important. They like, we are playing basketball at the same time the heavyweights are playing right now. We are important, baby. Like, man, we are practicing the same time they're practicing. This is awesome. But it all ends. It all ends today, guys. Giannis is going to be out for blood. I picked the Bucks in 6. I did. Um, Possibly the Magic. They'll put up a fight because of rest, and because of just time to make additional adjustments. But I think when Giannis wants to do something, generally on the basketball, he can do it on the basketball court pretty much, and there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, and yeah, with that, tomorrow I think the Mavericks, they are going to go fishing as well. Um, I see the Clippers just coming out and just
Yeah.
bashing those
They're gonna route
kids.
them quickly.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Good luck with trying to close Kawhi out. Luka, play your heart out. I tell you what, man, don't talk to the referees too much, Luka, because every time you do that, the Clippers are gonna just go right down the court and score. So stop complaining to the referees so much. Stop being a baby. Get up if it's a foul. Get up and play some defense. You play pretty good defense when you actually, set your feet. So get down to play some D, man. Realize that it's not going to be won on the offensive end. The Clippers don't win on the offensive end, guys. They win on the defensive end. And so keep that in mind. I think Luka, I think the Magic, they'll put up a fight, the Mavs and the Magic, but I think eventually they'll be humbled. And so, yeah. All right. So that leads now to another series that will be starting tomorrow, I think, bro. And that'll be the Raptors and Celtics.
Whew.
Now that's gonna be fun.
Scrappy.
That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a series for the ages. I feel like, man. I feel like that's gonna be
a heavyweight bout.
Battleground. That is. Look at the matchups: Bleak versus Walker.
Whew.
You got Siakam that's going up against Tatum. He gonna stick him.
Yeah.
You got Jaylen Brown, who probably gonna stick Siakam, or he gonna stick the kid that started with an A.
OG Anunoby.
OG Anunoby. You got Tias. He gonna be matched up with
Gasol.
So, or Ibaka in this case. Ibaka starts, right?
No,
and Gasol comes off.
I think it's the other way around.
Okay, Gasol starts in. Well, he gonna have his hands full of Theus with Gasol and Ibaka. They are gonna shoot their jumpers for sure. But
is Laurie playing? I know
that's the other matchup. So Kyle Lowry, he'll be matched up with in this case Kemba Walker, right? He'll be matched up with Kemba Walker, but additionally, and Jason Hayward, unfortunately, Jason Hayward is out. That would have been Gordon Hayward. That would have been like a very good way to extend things. And I feel this series that the Celtics might miss him. They'll definitely miss Gordon Hayward. But, Kemba Walker, man, he'll have to really step up this series and help Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown will have to step up and help Jason Tatum. They will have to be, all three of those guys have to be superstars this series in order to beat the Raptors. I picked my pick, but boy, you got to give me some time to think about this. All right, my time's up. And so I'm going to still ride with the Celtics. But boy, if the Celtics pull this off, they will have to be very disciplined. They can't afford many mistakes against the Raptors.
I agree, especially without Hayward. Like without him, it makes it that much more tougher. Now, if Laurie doesn't play, then I feel like you still got the edge. But if Laurie plays and is healthy, it's gonna be a dogfight. I'm gonna enjoy watching this.
Right, right. So Cal Lowry is playing. Um,
Mm,
yeah, he's playing, and so he'll be on the court. So that'll make a big difference for sure. So yeah. And so with that, I'm gonna have to still ride with the Celtics. But if you had to pick, Jamar, I need your pick.
whew, whew. I'm I'm taking your Celtics by the
All
skin of
right,
my teeth, man.
by the skin of your teeth. Mm,
Celtics and
yeah,
7.
yeah. If the Celtics win, it's gonna have to be 7. It's gonna have to be 7 for sure. And
Yep.
so, all right, brother. Well, with this, we got our last thing to talk about in regards to sports before we get into our final thoughts this morning. And so, just curious, man. I don't know if you've noticed the trend of the Chicago Cubs lately. I know you, Tristan Hemphill, Bill, and various other guests have been very confident in Chicago Cubs. But just curious, with the trend lately of the Cubs, have you possibly now maybe just changed your thoughts, or are you still confident on the direction of that ship that I told you guys would be eventually sinking because they always do this?
No, I haven't changed. That's because teams get hot, teams get cold. Um, I know we're in a shorter season here, so the margin for error is definitely a lot less. But I feel like honestly, I feel like they'll be fine. As long as they handle business and win this division, I feel like they'll be all right. I mean, I feel like Dodgers is still the cream of the crop. They just got to get past them. But I guess the Cardinals are starting to play games again, starting to try
Yeah,
to be a little relevant here again. Um,
yeah. And the Cardinals and Brewers, they definitely have the Cubs number.
yeah, no, they do. Historically and currently, I mean, I still feel like the Cubs are still the best team in that division by far. They just got to handle business and try to get off this little rut. But I feel like the other team in Chicago kind of like, added on to that rudder there. So I'm not complaining too much about it.
Right. Yeah, the White Sox definitely appear to be heading in the right direction. The one thing about that ship heading in the right direction is that there's youth behind it and strong pitching with Jason Kukchel and Giolito, who, congrats, by the way, threw a no-hitter against the Pirates this past week. The only no-hitter in the MLB this season. And yes, it came from the South Side. Beautiful, beautiful moment. And so the White Sox definitely are heading in the right direction. I think the Cubs are as well. I think the Cubs will find a way to rebound, Jamar. So I knew that they would get into a slump. I just hope that the slump don't continue to where they are below 500 in different things. They got to continue to use that veteran experience, slow the game down, slow it how they play it. Don't play the game how you play the game, Cubs, and get teams to play your game. If the Cubs get teams to play their game, which is pitching, which is low-scoring ball games with great defense, very focused, eye pinpointed game that the Cubs always play, then they can win and they can definitely go and have a deep playoff run um, to do that. And so everybody always talk about, right, with sports, right? We always talk about that top seed. And oftentimes, Jamar, as we know, those top seeds often fall at what point of the playoffs? They often fall at the championship round of those playoffs, whether it's the NFC championship, whether it's the NBA and you got the conference finals, those teams often fall at that point. And so if the Cubs could be that team that can get hot and they can continue to stay consistent,
Yeah.
I can assure you that the Cubs, that'll be my pick if there was to be a NLCS. It always just seems to work that way. It always seems to work that way. And so,
Feels like it.
yeah, the Dodgers have your great regular season, but Don't burn yourself out, because I don't think the Cubs, that's one thing I think they're trying to do right now. They don't want to continue to burn themselves out because of their veteran experience.
Right.
So that might serve them well when it really matters. So yeah, I think both of those ships are heading in the right direction at this point. And so yeah, we'll see as things go. We'll see what happens, with the Cubs. But I'm confident the Sox are heading in the right direction at this point. Congrats, by the way, to Courtney Vandersloot of the Chicago Sky. She was voted the Conference Player of the Week. She's been balling out, bro. She's an MVP candidate. She has been balling out. But the Sky, y'all got to continue to win these 1 point, 2 point games. You've lost at least 4 of them this year off of one basket games. So we got to take care of those one basket games. If you did that, you easily have the best record in the WNBA. So shout out to the Sky for the protest, the WNBA for their protest, the MLS, the MLB, and everyone that's been joining in against this fight of racial tension in our country. So with that, yeah, brother, any final thoughts before we close out?
Man, yeah, just definitely want to mention the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman yesterday, man.
Yeah, man, sad.
That, like,
colon cancer ain't no joke, bro.
No, it's not. And
spreads fast.
Man, and just, when they mentioned that he had it for like the last 4 years, and the movies that he's done in that time frame, like between that and the movies that he's done in general, like for our culture, I know, Black Panther's like the face of it, but when he did Jackie Robinson and Thurgood Marshall and James Brown, like every movie that he's done, like, had prominent roles for Black people, and just reminded us that we are important too. So, man, that really bothered me yesterday. 43 years old.
Yeah.
Felt like he had more to go, but God said it. He did all that he had to do, and I appreciate all his work. I really do. Really do. He's been nothing but a class act.
Nothing but a class act. Absolutely, man. It's just 2020. Wow, what a year. What a year, man. God has definitely been at work. And so it's very sad to see what happened. Rest in peace, by the way, as well, Lute Olson, the great coach for the Arizona Wildcats basketball program. It's just been a number of passes this week. Rest in peace to, a lot of just guys that's been dying around the city for the past few weeks, rappers, different things, shootings, people passing from COVID. It's been a rough year thus far, but God has definitely been at work. And so I won't lean not on my own understanding, but I'll just continue to trust in the Lord with all my heart.
Absolutely.
So, I know some better is coming out of this, and from the God I serve, I know that. And so, rest in peace, Chad, man. Thank you for all the memories. Your work is there, and it'll always be there. Your spirit will always be here. And so even though you moved on in the physical, your spirit will always remain. So prayers for that family, prayers for his wife, his kids, and, same for the Olsen family and many others that have been losing loved ones during this time. So, yeah, rest in peace and God bless, and prayers, definitely prayers up. And so, yeah, man, for me, my final thoughts are, everyone, if you can, wear that mask. It's not just about you. It's about the common good of society. Let's not lose focus on what is going on as well with this pandemic. The CDC is estimating around 317,000 deaths in December. And so right now, guys, we are heading now into September, and it's the flu season. And so we got to be very careful to, if we can, get our flu shots, um, and just be very careful with how we're moving and different things, um, for the safety of others and for ourselves and for our families and people that are around us. So, and additionally, put the guns down. And remember that, if you keep God first, everything else shall come thereafter. And so, everyone, let's let go of this pride. Let's let go of thinking we're right. Let's listen to each other. Let's be open, and let's just go with what's right. Let's go with what's right. And so, yes, you guys be blessed. Have a blessed week. And this concludes our session this morning for August 29th, 2020, for the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast. God bless. Jamar, as always, appreciate you, my brother.
Absolutely.
Peace out, everyone.
Wakanda forever.